Hey there, Arzen Pirates. How's it going? This is Linseed. As you can tell by Cervantes, my avatar's comportment, quite a bit of time has passed in the world of Dogma 2,
You can
Dragon's
count
Dogma
on me to
2.
fly to your aid in your hour of need, Master.
Oh, look, I was just
Knowing when
interrupted
to
by
use
someone named
curatives is
Vivian.
my specialty.
Thank you for interrupting me. I need you to be a little bit more compliant. It's a very dynamic literary platform we're standing on, but a little intrusive at times. Maybe I won't stand in the middle of the road next time I stop to start a video. Um, But so for one, after I finished our last videos, I played the rest of the evening, and what I did was I kind of went back to the starting point and then went forward again and learned everything, got everything I could find, fought everything I could fight, and I actually encountered two bosses that were like a little too tough. And when I got to that point, I said, well, that means it's time to go to the next town where I can update my gear and do all this stuff. The exciting part was I got to experiment more with pawns. By the way, see this one named Olive I got that's pretty cool. Um, and I had this one great pawn with me for like a long time, and he has a great name, and I really like him a lot. And then, but I outleveled him, so I sent him back to his owner with a bunch of gifts in tow, right? And I put him on my favorite list. So I'm gonna get to see when we get to the inn at whatever point, I'm gonna get to go up into the cloud and see if that guy, that other player, has progressed alongside me in the game, so that I can recruit that pawn that I like again and bring him back uh, into my pocket of the microcosm. And simultaneously, as you can see, Athena has all the best gear from head to foot. She's got all the money goes to her, and then when she's maxed out, it goes to my character. And then pawns show up with whatever their owners send them along with, of course. Which is, I'm getting to the point where you can choose your pawns on their style instead of just a name because they're all like brand new characters. So it's like the one that's got the nicest armor with all the stuff. That sounds like the one I want to play with, right? Uh, because they'll have the most game knowledge to bring. And that's the other thing I did was I spent my time studying, like just going over every little square inch that I could. And I'm going to go back over all that too, because that every time I do that, I'm just putting more knowledge into my pawn that goes out. So the idea is to keep Athena basically topped off on the knowledge of the game's mind ground, right? To in order to play her character well as a pawn when she's a field, you know. But that's what I was gonna say too. It's actually been like a day or two, maybe in between since I made the last videos, even though I think I just posted one recently. Um, and that is because I had to leave this digitally created illusionary world, and I had to go to Camelot. And I just had to spend 2 days at Camelot, right, which is in the real world, you know. And so I'm bringing some real Camelot energy to this experience, and and this is what I'm bringing to this commentary, this medieval setting is I, as a historian who's been studying history my whole life, and I did not even see this coming. Uh, Maybe I had like one wink of it last summer when I first heard that RFK Jr. was going to be a candidate, but like I didn't see this coming at all. What happened, and then how someone introduced me to his candidacy, and I just went and watched a couple of videos, and I was like, oh, that's interesting. And then so last night, and because of where I heard about him from like 3 to 4 different vectors, all at once and checked him out. And then because of how successfully that went, I was like, well, this is actually seems like a pretty formidable candidacy at this point because he's saying and doing everything he would have to do in order to set himself up for a actual candidacy where we could vote for someone who would represent, our values and possibly win the election, right? He's doing those things that it would take in history to check those boxes. And then, so last night I had to stop and I had to observe his choice of vice presidential candidate because, like, you don't have to. I absolutely have no reason to follow day-to-day news. I'm not into propaganda as an entertainment source. Um, but in an election year, if you're a historian who wants to make accurate and funny jokes all along the way, you do have to get all the actual relevant historical data as it happens in. So there will be certain events that are worth. This one declaring this candidate was a huge thing because it showed me what RFK Jr. is doing. Like I know what he's doing with his candidacy now, and I had to spend the whole day yesterday talking to people about it and like walking around thinking about it, and then like learning what I could see at this political rally, and then and I'm just talking about like looking back at it as the historical situation I've been a part of coming up to here, and then what pieces are actually being set out on this game board right now. Because well, I'm not gonna. This is a venue to talk about literature, so I'm not here to talk about like. I'll be writing literary commentary about whatever happens. If I survive what happens, I'll be writing literary commentary on it retroactively. But I'm just pointing out that was like as a historian, that's something I had to observe with my own eyes was the information exchange around that VP choice that was available, right? And so now it's up there in my head, and then as I write snappy jokes, I can make better Camelot jokes in my satire as it goes out, right? But that's all I'm saying here is I'm with you guys in this natural world, this medieval realm that artists in Japan have put together for us and designed in this manner, this literary mechanism. But when I took a break and leave for 2 days, I'm literally bringing the energy of Camelot itself back with me into this game to make it a part of my literary commentary. Um, and so imagine that my literary commentary of Dragon's Dogma 2 stretches out for like
You can get
X
that.
amount of time, like a year. And then imagine I survive 5, 6 more years making literary commentary in different literary games, right? But this video will be now pinpointed in time on the calendar for anyone reading the historical commentary
Halt!
available as we go along. So like anyone who is reading it and observing it for the literary commentary throughout the whole thing will of course include details of current historical circumstances as they occur around you. And so someone who's doing a chronological read gets that. Someone who, it's just part of the experience. But here we are. This is our first time coming to this
You are
town.
approaching the gates of Vernworth, capital of Vermund. None may pass without the proper documents.
Yeah, I get it.
If you've an
It's
entry
like that in town
permit,
too.
an invitation, or proof of citizenship, present it now.
I made it 2 years without an ID. Here we go.
I see.
Because they don't
So
ID when you buy
are to meet
groceries.
with Captain
So
Brandt.
who cares?
I shan't impede you then. Come with me.
All right. That was easy.
I was informed of your coming would be arisen.
Captain Brandt, you should know that this individual fought valiantly to defend the troops. The Watchhead told me himself.
As decreed by the great will of our world, there can only be one arisen.
Uh-oh.
That arisen now resides within the palace. Indeed, he is our sovereign and the rightful ruler of Vermund. It follows, therefore, that this ruffian before us is
Look at
naught but a
that.
pretender.
Can Arzen pirates, can you believe that? Because of this feudal system they're using. And by the way, this is the first time I've played this. Because of this feudal system they're using, their etiquette is that they treat anyone as a pretender because there's a rule that there can only be one of whatever their leader is. They call it arisen, not like enlightened, but I just think it's funny. Like that's a funny architecture that this medieval feudal community with all the really nice armor has come up with.
You must submit to questioning. If you value your life, you will not attempt to flee.
Oh God. Can you believe it? Huh.
I shall conduct the interrogation myself. Stand watch outside.
Well, look at this. This is so much more contextual than I thought it was going to be. Huh.
I beg your forgiveness for my insolence, Your Majesty.
Oh. What? I'm the king and I walked out and lost my memory? Is that what is happening to my character Cervantes? Oh no.
If the Queen Regent had learned of your existence, I fear your life would have been in peril.
Oh or no. No, he's decided he's the real one of the things and he's gonna... And oh boy, I don't know what's going on.
To treat you as a pretender, lest my actions draw suspicion from watchful eyes.
All right. I don't understand. Look at the choices they give you. I don't understand or enough of this farce. Okay. That character is named Cervantes. Enough of this farce.
Your anger is well justified, and I shan't deny you it. However, I am obliged to make you aware of your situation.
Boy, that Queen Regent had a so apparently I guess the other one's like a minor, and
Your
that's the
arrival would
classic
have robbed the
tale.
Queen Regent Disa of everything. During the time of the previous consul, she acted as a queen in her own right, ruling the palace as she saw fit.
Uh-oh.
And just after the consul's passing, when 'twas all but certain that her son would take his father's place, word reached the castle that the Arisen had been found. To Disa, your Majesty's very existence is naught but an obstacle to her own family's continued prosperity.
So
the
is
assassination of the Arisen is an impossible feat for mortal hands. Thus, Disa chose to abduct your Majesty while you recovered from your wounds, in order to rob you of your memory with a fell curse and sell you to Battahl as a slave.
oh,
Following that, she prepared a replacement to
look at
serve
that.
as the sovereign.
So
in
I
your
am the
stead.
rightful ruler,
mere
according to
puppet.
this guard.
However, with your Majesty returned, I have no intention of twiddling my thumbs as Disa plays her games. I shall devise some plans to further our cause. Pray, visit me a night in the tavern that we might discuss them.
I'll do it, Brant. I have to admit, that is a better plot element than I was expecting in this video game.
This one's cleared of all suspicion and has my permission to remain in the capital. You are to trouble the good sir no further. Are we clear?
Like, think about that. It's funny because some people who reviewed it said that the story wasn't very good. But so remember, we're not looking at this as one movie that plays in front of us and tells us that type of story. This literary experience, good job, Cervantes, level 17. I'm very proud of you. This type of story and this type of literary mechanism, remember, it's this like fluid, like dynamic stage we're on, which reacts to us as we move in whichever direction, right? And so now think about the town that they actually just put us inside of. This isn't some town with an ambiguous political order that you have to solve their problem of.
The city will prosper upon the sovereign's ascension.
In this game, you're the rightful ruler of this town, and it's being led by an imposter who set up a puppet. And then the game will dynamically react to you as whichever direction you move in. The game will dynamically react to you and allow you to explore what's on the stage in that direction. And one of the things that the way it trains you is the training you get, like in how to play the game and how to explore, is going to be tugged along by different narrative threads that pop up and lead you in different directions, right? And on top of this, we're technically involved in the collective exploration of this game that's broken down into like almost cell-like structure in a micro-dimensional like communication network, right? Between these switching, like I've already had 6 or 7 pawns through my world, and each one of them has gained knowledge and brought knowledge, right? And then into this world, we're this reactive thing. I don't know what happens. Nothing happens when I walk out the door. I go outside, and then there's a cutscene.
Pray forgive me, I'm in a bit of a hurry.
Consign it! Get back here!
Just random medieval town kind of stuff, What's going on?
You there! Did you see an urchin in a cap run past just now? Can you tell me which way he went?
You know what?
Many thanks.
I'm
I'll catch
sorry.
that wretch yet.
Yeah. That urchin probably has tons of information for me.
You're a kind one, aren't you? 'Twould seem I am in your debt.
Oh, I wouldn't put it that way.
In fact, there's aught I would ask of you if you've the time to spare.
Because you know why? In feudal towns like that, that whole thing could have been staged, right? It's better to think of it as I'm exploring the narrative potential of this medieval town stage than it is to think of it as I'm going to necessarily believe at face value what these NPCs are showing me, right?
Aha! There you are!
Uh-oh.
Oh, apologies, but our chat will have to wait. Till next we meet. Farewell.
Oh, geez, it's like one of those usernames that pops up and introduces itself and thanks you for defending it from the ugly mean guy.
I should very much like to rejoin you, Master.
Yeah, you having fun? Coming to the big city?
Weapons are simple enough to procure if we've the coin, but we might be lucky enough to find some in treasure chests.
Yeah, I've found
Indeed,
I've
you
done
are
some
correct.
I've done some good treasure
I
chest
lack
finding.
information pertinent to this task. Consider hiring a pawn better apprised of such matters.
Oh, I will. That's what we're coming to town to do. Let's see our map here. I'm not very good at this kind of thing. Where am I on the map? I'm here. I want to go. I want to go over and find the inn. That's the inn. All right. Sorry, I can only, you know, navigate the stage at the. If I want to show you first.
Journey easier.
Walking everywhere is certainly tiring.
Yes, it is, but we get in very good shape, and by the time we get where we're going, we're ready to get there. It's fucking basics.
Mayhap this ladder is here for a reason.
We
Yeah,
ought to put it to good use.
Yeah, you know what? Do I look like I'm interested in ladder climbing at the moment? I don't think that's the general vibe I'm giving off ladder climbing. Like, am I walking around going, "Where's a ladder I can use?" I am not. All right. All right, so this is all I wanted to do is you know the stage we're on. You had a little more introduction to the stage we're in the situation. And I'm going to go update my pawns, get some better gear, and continue exploring so we can push the narrative and literary boundaries of this piece of art further and see what else it has to show us. Because so far, as a student of Zen looking for literary experiences from Japan that are as rich in literary detail as any other literatures I've ever read. Because if I'm going to comment on Zen texts, you know, as a Zen student in my life, when I'm 45 now, I want to be able to make literary references that will make sense to people when they are 55 or 60, right? So this is the kind of research that goes into that, you know, and it's been kind of fun that I could pull that research onto Reddit and do a textual side over in our Zen as I get rid of the textual literary research I've done in advance, and then it's great that I could transition and bring that study right into this visual medium of the new Renaissance, the new literature that I'm so lucky to be alive and explore here with Athena at my side, you know, just like it would have to be. But you know, I switched out Odysseus for Cervantes for this stuff because it felt like more appropriate to the times, right? The medieval setting. You know, this guy can take this apart from the inside. You know. Yeah, and it's just cool that Reddit was here as a technology platform that allowed this kind of literary work, right? When the first point in time when there were the literary objects out there to make it worth looking at, you know. Anyway, thanks for coming along for the ride. We're just gonna go in and continue our journey. We'll leave you here on the stoop of the inn in Dragon's Dogma 2. And the next time we see, we'll probably be getting up to some pretty good hijinks in this town or in the environs. Thanks for watching.